My name is Min Nguyen. I am the principal attorney at Win Lawyers. What happened in this case to Susan was that she was working as a security guard on a weekend when nobody was around. The security pod was located on a parking lot of a beverage company, and a tractor whose air brakes was left undone start rolling and struck the pod while Susan was in it, caused her to fall off the chair she was in. She hit her back against a refrigerator and then bounced forward and hit the desk. When we got involved, we were going through Susan's medical records. There were a lot of indication of injuries, but not a lot of treatment. And so that prompted a meeting with Susan in her home. And that initial meeting was an eye-opener, because that's when we really truly learned what Susan was going through. I noticed in the corner of my eye, she had a big bottle of vodka, one of those Costco bottles, huge, and it was half empty. Knowing that part early was critical to have a breakthrough with Susan, to connect the dot that she was self-medicating, not with traditional pain medication or medical care, but with alcohol, because she was of limited means. She didn't have the resource to get medical access. She had bulging discs in her neck, she had bulging discs in her back, she had torn AC, and she needed surgery. One of the challenges in this case, in terms of liability, was that Susan had made an offhand joke to a co-worker long before this incident happened. Wouldn't it be great that she had a legal case and that she'd be able to sue this trucking company so she gets some money? Well, that came out in this case. And so the defense took that by the horn and ran with it and argued that Susan had set up or contrived this whole incident. And they had a credible witness who came forward who said Susan had jokingly said that she would do this. And one of the things that we embraced with Susan was, and one of her flaws was, that she was a heavy woman, and that she also had some pre-existing medical condition herself before this. And one of the conditions was that she had a prior bad back that was aggravated by this. So we said, hey, if somebody with a prior bad back, how in the world are they going to climb up a rig, unlock the air brakes, close the door, run down back to the shed, sit in her chair, and beat this tractor before it hits her? We said that's impossible. In a case like this where it's disputed liability, he said, she said, it's important to get someone like DK Global involved. Someone who can put together all the facts, all the testimony, all the scientific data points into a nice visual. And the big factual issue was the fact that was undisputed was, we know when the truck driver left the yard and when the incident happened, which was over a 10-hour period. Our theory was the truck driver was sick, forget to engage the airlock brakes, left the tractor there, eventually through inertia, the tractor rolled down and hit the pod. The defense argument to that was, well, if he forgot to lock the air brakes, then we would expect to see the tractor to roll down pretty quickly. What explains for the hours and hours of delay? The animation really showed the slope of the parking lot. So we argued earth rotation, we argued other tractor trailer movement along that roadway, vibration, because it doesn't take much when the air brake's not engaged, but you gotta start a little, so you gotta push it a little bit. Before DK Global got involved and my firm got involved in this case, the defendant and the prior lawyer were engaged in settlement discussion. The prior lawyer wanted to settle the case for $500,000. That was the demand. And the defense had offered $300,000. Fortunately for Susan, that negotiation, the initial negotiation, fell apart. And then with our representation, with the help of DK Global, we were able to secure the settlement of $6 million. Working with DK Global and creating an animation like we did in this case, it's helpful. It tells the other side that you have the resources and you're willing to spend the time and money to have an animation like this created. When we have an animation this good, we share it to the other side as soon as we can, because we want the other side to see it, because it sends the right message.